And I had those days where I was like, I don't even want to work out. Like, I keep getting up in the morning, working out. Just for what? But that's where you just got to rely on your faith. That's a big one. That relying on the people that's close to you. You got to just do it for yourself. Like, you don't look back later and be like, I could have done this, or I should have kept going, or something like that. So I would just say, just use that, use your faith, and just do all that you can before you're like, all right, I'm done. I did everything I could. So yeah.
What's up, everybody? This is Off the Field with Isaiah Robinson, where we teach championship mindset to athletes and entrepreneurs, because winning isn't just a goal, it's a lifestyle. What's up, everybody? Here with Off the Field with Isaiah Robinson. We got a special one for you guys today. We got former Patriots wide receiver Ed Lee coming to the show. Ed just recently signed to the CFL team, BC Lions. How you doing today, bro?
Doing good, man. Appreciate you having me.
Yo, I appreciate you for coming on for sure. It's gonna be a special one. You got so much inside with just playing sports and now like after sports a little bit from college level, man. It's gonna be a good one.
Yes, sir.
So let's get into it. Let's talk about your journey, right? Your father, he actually played in the NFL. So how was that shaping your outlook at the game? And what tips and lessons did he instill into you at a young age to contribute to your success today?
Yeah. So it just started from a very young age, probably like 2 years old. Just putting a football in my hands. That was just the start of everything. And then I mean, just as far as growing up, like he was my coach for all the little league, even a little bit in high school. And so it's just constant tips and tricks, like you said, because he also played receiver as well. And so just, I mean, like you said, like just giving free game, like it's free game all the time, 24/7. And it's just, always about football. So it was definitely good to have that in the house and just in my ear after games, stuff like that. Like, yeah, it was a big help though.
So how was that, though? Because I know being a coach at home and then he's still your father at the end of the day, it can be still like it could become a barrier. So how
Yeah,
growing up, was it a barrier? Did it affect anything? We talk about that.
yeah. Just because we both love football so much.
Mhm,
But sometimes, like, let's say, I would have an okay game or not my best game. Like, I
mhm,
wouldn't want to hear it in the car after. Like, oh, come on. But
mhm.
you just know it's coming. But at the same time, though, I'd rather have that than not at all. So I just grew to appreciate that.
Okay. So how was your transition been from going to college, now going to the pros for you?
It's been all right. Coming out of college, at first, initially, after the whole draft process, I didn't get drafted and I didn't get signed either. So I was kind of like in the middle of things, and I always had the CFL. I was kind of talking to them a little bit, but I wanted to get to the NFL, and so I was kind of holding that off. And there was a date like June 1st, so I had went to the Patriots mini camp, and they told me that we like you, but we have 90 people on the roster. And I think somebody retired and there was an extra spot, but that didn't process until June 1st. It was kind of hard to like bank on that to happen. So I was kind of just using all my other options and stuff. And I was kind of holding off on the CFL at first, like just wait till after this date and then I'll either come up there or whatever. And then they ended up signing me after that date. And so I was there for OTAs, I was there for mini camp, and then tore my hamstring. So you know how that goes. And
Yeah.
so they released me, and I had a long rehab process just because I was kind of hurt throughout when I was signed, like throughout my time with the Patriots. I was kind of hurt already, and I was just trying to tough through it, and it just made it so much worse. So it was really hard to get back from. And so, yeah, that was a tough time, especially after getting released, watching them and stuff like that while I was trying to rehab. And then, so yeah, so I rehabbed, ended up coming back playing for BC Lions last year. So I was there for camp. I would say it was my best camp, just because it was, I hadn't played in a while. I was coming back. There was some other factors in there as well, but yeah, so that ultimately didn't work out. And so I kind of kept in contact with the GM from there, and they got a whole new staff and everything. And so I just recently signed back. So yeah, so that's how it's been going for me. Yep.
So let's talk about, man. You get a couple points I really want to mention, just like the mindset you have to have, the mentality. Like he owns his own PT spot right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's funny that you said you was still going through it, even though you was battling injuries, and it made it hurt you in the long run rather than sitting down and just being patient and just rehabbing it back into your full health. So do you, looking back at it now, right? Would you wish that you would have sat down, rehabbed yourself back, or since this was your shot for the NFL, it's like you had to push through it? What are your thoughts for it now?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because I didn't really know the extent of my injury because it was kind of like before the draft even happened. That's when it started for me.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really know how bad it was. And so I mean, I was doing a little rehab, I think, but it wasn't like, I kind of just brushed it off until it actually became a problem. But by the time it became a problem, that's when they called to sign me. So it was like, I couldn't say no. Like that's
Mhm.
obviously I can't pass up. And so I was just hoping that it just held on and that I was able to play through it. But nah, I don't think I would go back and do anything differently except for, taking it more serious once it first started. I would say that. But I would still do the same thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
So how important is connections too? Talking about the league and just talking about his politicking, right? Have you ever seen anybody in the league that you think shouldn't have been there, but through his connections he made it there?
I mean,
Or you think everybody's just elite at that level?
everybody does something in order to get there. So I'm not going to take away from anybody that's in the NFL. So I'm not going to say there's people that shouldn't be there, but I mean, there's people that you see that's like, I can do that, or like, I could cook him or something like that. And so there's always going to be stuff like that. But especially in New England, like that's an organization that doesn't really feed into a lot of politics. They always have those guys that just come out of nowhere, D2, D3, different sports and stuff like that. And so it wasn't really too many politics there. But that does happen though. So sure that happens. Nah, it was pretty good there. Yeah.
And so talking about like your connections, you said you was connected to the GM at BC Lions, but the whole staff left. Let's talk about how did you even make that connection with the GM and how did you either stay connected through your time off, right? Do you reach
Yeah.
out to them on a frequently basis or do you just let things happen? What's your process?
Yeah, so before the draft, I was in the Hula Bowl, the All-Star game, and that's where I first met the GM. And so he came up to me because, there was all 32 NFL teams there, and like my first couple of days, nobody was talking to me. I thought I was having good practices, and like no scouts had came up to me until I ran into him. I was like the first, pro team that had approached me from college. And so that's where I first met him at. And he basically just reached out to me and was like, we want you to go to the NFL. Which like, if it doesn't work out, then just, let me know. And so we always had a pretty good relationship. And that's how I met him. And so we just stayed in contact. He was asking about updates and stuff when he saw I wasn't getting signed. And then that's when I let him know, like, if we get to this date and I'm still, not signed, then we can talk. But yeah, that's how I met him.
So you have a little different approach, right? But like, how do you stay motivated during the off season? Because now you had a spot, right? You know, if this ain't go work out, you know you can go here. But for the people that don't have a spot, like pros is just like a revolving door. They always looking for the next talent. So how do you stay motivated? How do you stay on your grind, even when you don't know if things are really going to pan out for you the way you want it to?
Yeah. So I mean that's everybody goes through that, or
Mhm.
most people go through that. I went through that, and it's tough. Like you gonna have your days where you just can't do it anymore. And I've had those days before, especially this off season because I was coming off of getting cut by the BC Lions, and
Yeah.
so I didn't have LinkedIn like trying
Mm.
to look for a job and stuff. So my future was uncertain as far as playing football, and I had those days where I was like, I don't even want to work out, like. I keep getting up in the morning, working out. Just for what? But that's where you just gotta rely on your faith. That's a big one. That relying on the people that's close to you. You gotta just do it for yourself. Like you don't look back later and be like, I could have done this or I should have kept going or something like that. So I would just say just use that, use your faith and just do all that you can before you're like, all right, I'm done. I did everything I could. So yeah, it's definitely some tough days, but just rely on the people that's around you, rely on God. And so yeah, that's how I got through it personally. But
I love it, man. I love it.
yeah.
So the next segment is brought to you by Off the Field Financial. what I found out is that most people are looking for ways to make more money without having to get a job. So Off the Field Financial is a financial services agency that specializes in life insurance, annuities, and investments. We teach people like you how they can make a lot of money using our special four-step system without having to get a job. So these next questions are going to be tailored towards Off the Field Financial. So first question, do you know what the rule of 72 is? All right, cool. So the rule of 72 is 72 divided by the interest rate, and that's how long it's going to take for your money to double. So average banks right now is giving out, let's say 2% interest. So it's going to be 72 divided by zero point 0.2. And that number is 300 years. So it takes your money 300 years just for it to double if it's sitting in the bank. So that's crazy. So you're never going to see your
That's,
money double in the bank.
yeah.
Do you know the difference between term and whole life insurance?
Nope, you're gonna have to fill me in, bro.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So term insurance is basically temporary, right? You cover for, let's say, 15 or 30 years. That's usually the years that you're covered for. If anything happens to you, accidents, benefits is living benefits and also death benefits. If anything happens to you in that 30 years, you can get a lot of money paid towards your beneficiary or towards you, towards your bank. Whole life insurance. You're also going to be covered for your whole life. That's the terms of whole life insurance, but it also builds cash value while you're there. And it's an investment. A lot of companies like Disney World was built off whole life insurance, and McDonald's is built off whole life insurance. So they stack their money up and they can pull from it whenever you want to. I know we was talking about a little bit earlier about the IUL. They can pull from it whenever they want to. So when a big investment or whatever they want to do with it. They can put it back into their business. They can do a college fund towards the kids. There's so many things you can do with it, and it accumulates money without losing it in the stock market. So it's invested in the S&P 500, and it's basically a non-risk to all your investment. So a lot of companies, even P. Diddy got an IUL, so his money is actually protected. So people that are trying to sue him, they can't sue the money that's in the IUL because it's protected.
Mm.
Next question. Do you have a retirement plan yet?
Mm.
All right, cool. So IUL can also help out with a retirement plan. And we just have different investments to help people build the retirement plan because retirement isn't really an age, it's a mindset. I know people that retired at 30. I know people that's retired at 70. I know people that's retired at 80, right? Everybody thinks they're going to be retired at 65. That's the age of retirement. But retirement is a mindset. You can be retired at 30, 40. It's just the way that you manage your money. And also, 95% of people at that retirement age can't retire. They either got to keep working or they just never set up a plan for them to actually live the stability that they've been living their whole lives. So that's what we help them. We help them with retirements and we help them with just understanding the finance, the literacy of money because a lot of people, we're not taught this in school. So that's where Off the Field Financial comes in. And we have a special four-step system to teach people just like you how to make more money.
Sounds good.
So let's talk about a little current event that's going on right now, right? I just see it online. Wisconsin quarterback Xavier Lucas, he left Miami without even entering the transfer portal. So now you got the transfer portal is going to arise a lot of different things, right? There's so many different things about the transfer portal. So now it's not even just about the transfer portal. Now it's about the NIL deals, the money and everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Talk about all that.
I don't like it. I don't like the NIL. Transfer portal, I mean, I guess, certain situations call for you to leave your situation, which I get, but NIL is so crazy. And I was training this off season or last off season when, the kids that were training for the combine come in. And I'm sitting here looking like, why are they driving this BMW? I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, but
Mhm.
the thing is, like, when you're in college and you're not really getting money, like that makes you hungry. Like that makes you hungry. That makes you want to get to the league so you can get that money.
Mhm.
The kids are getting it already. I just feel like it's taken away a little bit. Like I don't know, but I really don't like it. But the thing you said about the Wisconsin quarterback or cornerback, he
Mhm.
left, so he just walked out. Like how did that even?
See, and that's the thing that they don't talk about, right? It's all the behind the scenes that goes
Yeah.
on. Like I remember I was talking to somebody. He was like, "Yeah, this one player was on a recruiting trip, right? And he was on his official visit. Another school realized he was on his official visit. called him up a private jet. Hey, leave come to our school right now. So he really took them up to go to his other school, and that's basically like, let's say a girl going on a date, right? And she's messing with somebody that don't really got no money, but the
Yeah,
guy's like, "Hey, I got money. Pull up in a Rolls Royce. Let's leave." Right? So now
yeah,
it's really just the battle of who got more money,
that's true.
and that's why I was like saying, you take away the hunger, you take away the grind, but
Yep,
some of these kids they get paid more than what they would get in their first year as a rookie.
that's what I'm saying. I don't like that. I don't like
Mm.
it.
But think about it though. All the money that they're making off the players, you don't think it got to even out some type of way? Because college
Yeah,
football is it's a
I mean, you're right. Like, I got to think about it as a player as well. Like, they're getting all that money. I mean, when we was in school, they was making all of that money off of the players, but we couldn't get any of it. Like,
right.
crazy. And so, yeah, if I was in school, I wish that we could have had. Well, we did towards the end, but I mean, I get it, but I don't know. Yeah. I'm on both sides, I guess.
The both side. Because the thing about the NIL deals, right? People think it's the schools paying and stuff like that, but it's really the donors, right?
Yeah.
It's donors that people are paying,
All that. Yeah.
alumni, yeah, all that. So like even at the big school, like Nick Saban, when he was recruiting, the donors was still helping him out. Like donors was giving $1 charges off the lot. Like you feel me?
Yeah.
So but when you get to like a Rhode Island or a Maine and stuff like that, our donors really isn't the best. So it's really only for those big schools that are really even touching the NIL deals.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's something that should be in place for the small town schools because they're putting in just as much work as the big town school?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's hard just because they're not on that, that FBS level, that notoriety and stuff like that. But I definitely do think that they should have something in place. And maybe even the FBS should help out because there's a whole bunch of dogs in the FCS too. So yeah, I mean, I wish they could do some type of NIL thing for FCS players for sure. Yeah.
So you think it should be a salary cap that each team should have?
They might need to do that because
That might
it's
be
gonna
something.
get too unfair. Like the Georgias, the Bamas, like they got so much money. If you playing against like Nevada or something, they don't have that type of like. So yeah, they definitely need a limit on some of these.
What about the college football? What's your thoughts on the new playoff structure? That just brought in even more money to the NCAA.
Yeah.
So, first of all, who you think gonna win the ship? And second of all,
Uh,
how did you like the structure?
no, I liked it. I think it gives teams more of a chance to get in there. Like if you just rolling, like, and I mean it could really be anybody. Like this year, I feel like there was a couple blowouts, but I don't think anybody expected Notre Dame to get here. And so if they did have, I think it was, if they did have the regular 14 playoffs, I don't know if they would have even made it in. I don't know what seed they were, but yeah, but nah, I think Ohio State gonna win though.
You think Ohio State gonna beat Notre Dame?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that Michigan loss just turned them up, and they just been killing people. So yeah, I think they're gonna win.
it's tough because I don't know. I'm not a big Will Howard fan. Like he can ball. Don't get me wrong, he can ball, but I don't know if it's the Ohio State system or do you think he's actually balling? Like he think he's
Uh,
balling?
he's all right. I think he's straight. But if I like, am I gonna want to depend on him to go win me a game? I don't know about that. Yeah, I think it's just so good. Like just all around. Not even Will Howard. Like I mean, they run the ball. Their running backs. Them two running backs are good. The receiver, I forgot his name. He's good, number 4.
Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, and then their defense is crazy. So
Yeah.
I
And,
just think that's going to win the game. Will Howard probably not even going to have to do that much.
and I just thought about it, right? Let's talk about like because before the head coach, this face is the head coach of Ohio State. What's his name?
Ryan Day.
Ryan Day. So last year, Ryan, they didn't know he was even going to be able to catch the torch that Urban Meyer was giving him, you know? So
Yeah,
now next year he's talking about championship team. And it just makes me think, how much is that really put into the NILs deals? Like what
yeah,
players did they have to recruit or what money did they really have to put in to get these players? Because last year they was like, man, Ohio State ain't really gonna be nothing. Now
yeah,
this year they in a championship.
yeah, yeah. They gotta have so much money.
You feel me? So if Aaron Rodgers continued to play, will it ruin his legacy?
I think, yeah, I just need to be done. I mean, I don't know, just because he after that injury, it just got so much about stuff that wasn't football with him. I mean, I don't even know everything, but I just know it was a whole bunch of distractions in that building. So yeah, if I was him, I'd just cut it now. But I mean, he's still British.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the same.
What happened to Devontae Adams? You just brought over your guy.
That's what I'm saying. I like you should have just won. You should have just won a whole bunch of games. They just brought in your mans, but and I mean, and they had a good connection. Like I know Devontae Adams started to get right at the end of the year, but they were still losing. So like, I don't know. I would just call it quits if I was him.
Because that seems like they was starting to roll. They was starting to get a little roll towards the end of the season. And then like, do you risk playing to ruin your legacy, or do you just like, all right, I gave it so many years. I'm still considered one of the goats. This year could really take that goat status away from me. You feel me?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like,
I don't know. I don't know. I'm leaning towards stop playing though.
stop playing.
Yeah.
Stop playing it. Who's your favorite NFL player this year and why?
Ooh, this year. I like Amon Ra. I like him a lot. Just cause he's undersized, just a dog. Like
Yeah.
he's just a dog, yeah. So and I like his attitude too. Like I always see stuff about him remembering everybody who was drafted before him, using that as motivation. I just like watching him play. Like he runs good routes and he's just gritty. I like him all right. I don't know. I don't know if I really have a favorite player, but if I had to say one, I do like how he's playing right now. So
Okay, cool.
yeah.
So lined up 1-on-1 to win you the game. Who you taking? Amon or Jamar Chase?
It depends. Where we at? Where's the ball at?
All right. We on the opposite 40, so 60 yards to get a touchdown. Let's say we got 30 seconds left in the game. So you got time for a couple more plays. Who you taking?
I would say, oh man, that's tough. For
Mhm.
Jamar Chase, if we need a big play, I'm gonna go to him.
All right.
But if it's like 3rd and 5 or something, we need to get then we need to get going. I'm gonna choose Amon Ra. But in that situation, I might do Jamar Chase just because he could make a big play. Like, I'll just throw him a 50-50 ball or something.
Mhm. He's gonna come down with it.
Yeah, I'll probably say Jamar in that situation.
Okay. I mean, both ain't no bad. That's a tough one because they both can ball, you know. Now we get into the hot seat question of the interview. You ready?
Hot seat, yeah, I'm ready.
Yes, sir. What is the most embarrassing thing that happened to you on the field?
On the field, I definitely got blown up a couple times, like over the middle. I'll probably say the couple times that happened to me. One time was in high school, it was bad. Actually, one was actually in Canada. The last time I was there in the preseason, I had ran like a dig, I guess. Caught it. As soon as I looked to turn upfield, he was right there. He just blew me up, bro.
He
So,
cheated you.
yeah, I caught it though, so I guess it wasn't as embarrassing, but you still hate to see
Yeah.
see that. So yeah, I'll probably say that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that middle of the field really get dangerous, like they say. See, I'm the one throwing the ball, so like I try to protect my receivers the best way I can, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's just like,
Sometimes you gotta eat the hit.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you could invent a holiday, what would it be and how would it be celebrated?
A holiday. I don't know. Something about I don't know. I would we need a holiday where it's no work, no nothing. You could just do whatever you want. Probably play the game all day or something like that. I don't know what the holiday would be for, but yeah, that just everybody off from work. Yeah.
Okay, everybody else work, just do whatever they want to do.
Do whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Okay, cool,
Free
cool.
day.
Free day. That will be called free day
Yeah.
holiday. So what's the most adventurous thing you ever done?
Adventurous.
Yeah.
I haven't even, and, I need to do more stuff like that. Really don't know. Football just take over, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, bro. I went on a cruise before, but that's not really like, yeah, nothing for real, bro. Just
Footballing.
yeah,
So
yeah,
let's dive into that right quick, right? Because football is it's your whole life. Ever since you said you was 2 years old with the ball in your hand. So I know you have a lot of transferable skills that you can excel in off the field, but let's talk about that because how can you understand who you are outside of the game if you're being in it for so long? And I know you're still in the process. I'm still in the process of finding myself outside of sports. So, what are some things that helped you really trying to figure out who you are outside of sports versus your identity is all in football?
I'm still struggling with that, bro. I mean, me and my mom have had a couple talks about it, and I'm like, I
Mm,
just know. Just because, like you said, bro, it's always been straight football. Even outside of the football season, we were playing 7-on-7 together.
mhm,
We was working out together. It was always based around that, and that just took up all of our time, bro. So
right.
right now, like I said, when I had that little area where I wasn't signed or anything, I didn't know what to do. Like,
Mm,
especially finding a job, like what would I like doing? I didn't know.
mm,
So it's still something that I'm working on. And so I couldn't even tell you. It's a hard process to go through, but I wish I did a little bit more while I was playing to figure that part out. But
mm.
yeah.
So, what are some things you feel like you wish you would have done? Maybe get more other activities? Because
Yeah.
even because I remember when I was playing at Hampton, I went on an internship for Disney World, right? And I was like, hey, Disney World, ESPN, this seems like something I might want to do, right? They didn't give me the Disney World role because I was an athlete. They was like, well, I don't think you're gonna have enough time to do this. I don't know. So they put limitations on me before they could
Mhm.
even see what I could do. You feel me? So
Yeah.
a lot of times things are stricken away from us just because of our sports. So what are some things you feel like maybe if we've been a high school, maybe do different clubs, maybe fraternities, like who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just trying new things. Like,
Mm,
especially, yeah, high school with the clubs and stuff. I don't want to say it was looked at as weird, but like you just didn't do that. Like,
yeah.
which is like you're just on a football team. So
Hmm.
probably, yeah, just trying a couple things, maybe just getting out the house a little bit more. I don't know, but um yeah, but I mean, and definitely in college too, there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on that you don't even know about. So um yeah, just trying new stuff. Never know. So
Mm.
yeah.
I think that's a golden nugget right there. Just trying.
Yeah.
You don't know.
You don't. Yeah. Until you
Mhm.
try it. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you for coming on today's show, Brody. Anything you want to say to your
Sure.
fans and supporters out there?
Nah, I appreciate you tuning in. If you tuning in, if you got to this point, appreciate you.